Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting Art of War video. Today we're breaking down a brand new datasheet and detachment for the Imperial Fists.
Yeah, this is one of the set of mini Chapter Master plus Detachment combos it seems like we're getting. The Imperial Fist, I was a little surprised to see them, but I guess I was a little surprised to see all of them at the end of the day, right? So
I think all of the other first founding chapters are getting the love, it seems. Everyone besides Ultramarines, who's supposed to be in the Codex Astartes. You know what? Turns out Ultramarines have gotten love for the entire edition, and so GW found it in their heart of hearts to maybe throw a bone to the Imperial Fists of the world.
it's kind of funny. I kind of forgot that Ultramarines are actually in the exact same category as the rest of these.
They are. They follow the same rules.
Same rules.
Same rules.
That's actually really funny.
They just do it better. But you know what? That's why we deserve to get a new Darneth Lysander datasheet and a new Emperor's Shield detachment. So if you like this video, please like this video, share with your friends, leave a comment, subscribe. All of the YouTube buzzwords actually really help us grow the channel and feed Michael. So make sure that this man gets the food that he needs by liking the video. He has to. That way he can make orc videos.
Yeah, that's like right.
Imperial Fist to kill.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for watching, everyone. And if you want even more Space Marine content, check out the worm in the description below. Let's go ahead and dive right into this. We're going to start off with the datasheet. Darneth Lysander is the old Imperial Fist character who had a resin model, I don't know, when I started playing Warhammer. Yeah. Like, this guy's been around since like 5th edition, I want to say. He's old, and he was very small. And you know what? He deserved a bigger model, which is exactly what he got. So he is a Terminator captain inherently. And so he has the captain keyword. He has all the same keywords as before. As a matter of fact, is the same line, the same stat line as before, where he has movement 5, T5, 2 up armor save, 4 up invuln, 7 wounds. He actually used to be 6. He's now 7.
Okay.
That's the only change. Leadership 6, OC1. His melee weapon, he does not have a gun, is the same as before. And it's pretty good.
Actually kind of flat.
5 attacks, weapon skill 2, strength 10, AP 3, damage 3. He basically has the angriest Thunderhammer in the Imperium. But you know what? If anyone was going to get it,
It's the Fist of Dorn.
I'm okay with the Fist of Dorn, which is a Thunderhammer.
Yeah.
Not a fist.
I was reading that and I was like curious if there was like a fist on his Thunderhammer. There's not a fist.
There's not a fist on his Thunderhammer.
It's the Fist of Dorn.
Just Fist of Dorn. Still, genuinely a great Thunderhammer.
Yeah, it's actually really quite
I
good.
cannot complain about that.
AP3 is big number.
Yeah. He has Deep Strike, Leader. He's going to join Terminators and Terminator Assault Squads. No massive surprise there. And then he has 2 special rules. These are actually the exact same as his old special rules. First up, each time an attack targets this model's unit, shooting and combat, if the strength is greater than the toughness of the unit, -1 to the wound roll. So basically, if you find a strength 6+ weapon and you shoot it or punch it at Lysander's Terminators, -1 to wound.
Pretty good.
That's actually quite solid. You can take a 10-man Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminator unit, slap with Lysander, and hey, that's pretty good. As well, once per battle at the start of any phase, he can use this ability, and he can get a 2+ invulnerable save.
That's great.
That's awesome.
This is actually a good data sheet.
It actually is. Yeah. The problem with Imperial Fist is not that the data sheets are awful, it's that he's not Calgar.
Yeah.
Now, Lysander is going to clock you a reasonable 100 points.
It's not bad.
Not cheap, but like that's not really that expensive.
Mm.
I've actually, fun fact, I've actually seen Lysander used as a solo piece because I believe he does not have to be leading to get that -1 to wound. And there's
no, he does not actually.
He does not.
Yeah.
And there's a very funny thing where you can just like run Lysander at someone, or you could just ingress him in front of an army and say 2 up invul.
And they just get to beat him with the Fist of Dorn.
Yeah, like they can try to shoot their way through the 2 up invul and be like,
Should they? No.
it's going to take a while.
It's going to take a while.
It's going to take a while. So I like the Lysander datasheet. An extra wound, same points cost. Not mad about that at all.
Yeah, great character.
Yeah.
No downsides here, actually. Really.
Pretty good.
Other than like what he attaches to.
And that he's not Calgar.
And he's not Calgar.
I hate
Calgar. Calgar's like insane, but also Calgar costs like way more points, right?
He's double the cost.
Yeah.
And yet. So let's talk about the detachment rule for Emperor's Shield. This is Wrath of Dorn. Each time a model from your army with the Oath of Moment ability makes an attack that targets your Oath of Moment target, you can re-roll a wound roll of 1. In addition, each time a model in a Darneth Lysander unit from your army makes an attack that targets your Oath of Moment target, you can re-roll the wound roll. This is actually a change on what we have seen in like First Company Task Force, which is a similar detachment to what Emperor's Shield is shaping up to be. But This is probably better. Army-wide, game-wide reroll 1s doing against the other target is just going to help across 5 turns. There is very much a reality where you can only use that reroll wounds in first company task force against one target once per game, and so it sometimes gets a little bit wasted. But in this case, actually going to help you across 5 turns. This is pretty solid. A lot of the Terminator and Veteran datasheets that this is telling you what to do with, those are not going to have a lot of inherent wound rerolls. Basically, just a Stern Veteran unit would, and a unit with Lightning Claws might do it. But then Darneth Lysander's unit, and Lysander will do great in an Assault Terminator squad with Thunderhammers. That's going to be amazing into the other target. Reroll hits and wounds and +1 to wound. Sign me up. Overall, pretty nice buff because it helps everything in the army. It doesn't just help with the veterans, even though the rest of this detachment is going to tell you to take the veterans. I like this better than what we see in First Company Task Force, but because you do have access to a reasonable amount of twin-linked weapons, I don't think that the reroll 1s part of this is going to be a game changer. It's just a little bit better than the First Company Task Force rule. And then Lysander's unit itself is receiving quite a nice buff because you get that reroll wounds all the time. That's going to be quite powerful, I think. Now, for enhancements, we have Champion of the Feast. This is actually a reskin of an old enhancement, just a different name, but it's the same enhancement, which is add 1 to the attacks characteristic of the bearer's melee weapons. And once per battle at the start of any phase, you can use the enhancement and add 1 to the attacks characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in the bearer's unit.
This is like a good enhancement, but I can't imagine who's supposed to wield it.
It's a Terminator captain.
Yeah.
And you just once per game say +10 Thunderhammer attacks.
That makes sense.
I mean, it'll hurt, right?
Yeah.
It's a solid enhancement. Also, it's 25 points, which is not the worst.
No.
So we're not mad about it. The next one is Disciple of Rhetoricus, which is the crazy name. And this is for 1 Terminator only. Improve the OC of the bearer by 1. Once per battle at the start of any phase, you can increase the OC of models of the bearer's unit by 1 until the other phase as well. Sure. Which is nice. It's 10 points.
That's fine.
I'd be super willing to spend that, but I think I'd still try to find the 15 to take Champion of the Feast instead.
Yeah.
Now, these 2 are the same as in First Company Task Force, but the next 2 are actually new. First is an Indomitable Champion for a Terminator model only, and the first time you're destroyed, roll a dice on a 2-up at the end of the phase. You stand back up with 3 wounds remaining, as close as possible to where you were destroyed.
Yeah, this is nice.
Solid.
You can have Lysander running around by himself, and then a 2-up res Terminator running around by himself. You can bully your opponent with just Terminator captains.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I don't know who I want this on, because like the characters are hopefully not getting sniped.
Yeah, that's kind of the awkward part, right?
Yeah.
The Terminators really want their friends, and once they're by themselves, it's like...
I'd still rather have a...
I think the best use legitimately is just like a dude by himself.
Yeah,
2-up res.
Fair enough. And then the final one is a Maladraxian Standard. And this is for an ancient model only. Each time an attack targets the bearer's unit, if the strength is greater than the toughness characteristic of the bearer's unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll. Cool enhancement. Wish that wasn't an ancient.
An ancient is the heavy burden on this enhancement.
An ancient is a heavy burden. Now, the ancient's rule is +1 to hit if you're below starting strength, and it's or the Terminator ancient, I should say.
Yes,
because you're leaning into.
Technically, it's Adeptus Astartes ancient, but you're playing.
You could do a Blade Guard ancient, and Blade Guard do get a lot of the rules of this detachment.
Blade Guard ancient actually could be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling hits and wounds on Blade Guard.
Yeah, it's like nice.
I could see that.
The best thing that I think you could do is that this does the Terminator ancient, I should say, does get to join the same unit as a captain. So you could, if you really wanted to invest all of your points in one basket,
Primarch level Terminator unit.
You could take a 10-man Terminator squad with a chaplain for +1 to wound for feeling pain against mortals, and an ancient, and then you're -1 to wound if strength is greater than toughness, and then the chaplain can take one of the other good enhancements. If you want to get crazy, you could do the +1 OC just to get 3 OC Terminators, which is not a good idea. Instead, I would much rather have the +1 attack.
2 OC is enough.
2 OC is enough.
Yeah.
But like, if you wanted to take an Ancient and a Terminator Chaplain on a 5-man or 10-man Terminator squad, you could.
That unit will slap.
It is going to cost a lot.
It's going to cost a lot of points.
So I'm inclined to not do that.
Yeah.
Just because it's redundant with Lysander, because it's the same rule as Lysander, but like, that's how you could theoretically get 2 10-mans that are each -1 to wound strength, greater than toughness.
You could love to run as many Terminators as you want.
It's what I want.
So many Terminators.
But yeah, so interesting enhancements. They do lose out on the old Battle Shock enhancement from First Company Task Force, which is not a miss at all. You don't want that. And you also miss out on the 5-up Film of Pain enhancement for First Company Task Force, which I desperately do want.
Yeah, that's a really 5-up Film of Pain on models that don't know.
It's only once per game, but boy howdy is that impactful.
It's really good.
Now for stratagems here, we have Armor of Contempt.
Classic.
This is exactly what you think it is.
Yep.
Next, Fury the First. This is an old stratagem that they gave a new name to, which is from now on I'm gonna say veteran, but what it actually is Terminator, Blade Guard, Stern Guard, Vanguard. When I say veteran, that's what I mean for the rest of these stratagems.
Mm-hmm.
One of the veteran units that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase gets +1 to hit if it's below starting strength, +1 to wound if it's below half strength. Oh wait, no, it's better than that. I'm so sorry. You know what? It's just +1 to hit. If below starting strength, +1 to wound. Oh, so if you lose one Terminator, you're +1 to wound. That's
not bad.
That's actually pretty solid.
That's pretty solid.
Because it does work in shooting. So,
man, that Lysander you can go crazy.
well, ideally, it's hitting
It'd be the second one, yeah.
Ideally, it's hitting the oath target where you're just being like +1 wound, reroll wounds. Hey, yeah. Okay, you know what? Not bad. I don't know if I'm super excited about it, but not bad. Obdurate Vengeance, 1 command point. This is in the fight phase after an enemy selects his target, 1 veteran unit, and it gets a 3+ fight on death.
No conditions, just 3 fight on death?
No.
Yeah,
That's only for the veterans. You can't do it on intercessors.
That's really good.
But still.
The only other 3-up fight on death I know of is the Bully Boys fight on death.
Yeah.
During the wall.
I think there's a 3-up fight on death in like the CSM index detachment for corn units only.
Oh yes, there's like ways you can beat to it, but not.
3-up fight on death is very solid.
This is the only one that I think we've seen that isn't conditional.
Yeah, I think the condition is just that you have to be a veteran unit.
Yes, you have to exist to be a unit, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's not the whole army of it. Still, solid. Not mad about that at all. Next is Wrathful Conquerors, 1 command point movement phase. Pick a veteran unit on an objective mark you control, and you sticky it.
Sticky objectives are never bad.
Never mad about sticky objectives. So overall, pretty happy with that. It is your movement phase, but sticky objectives is solid, especially since you can have as an elite army. Disciplined Extermination. This is, again, veteran units. You can do this on Blade Guard veterans, even though this is a shooting phase stratagem.
Cool.
Yeah.
Lock, bolt, pistols, go.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get ignore cover +1 AP on ranged weapons.
It's pretty good on that Terminator squad we're talking about.
A Terminator squad with +1 AP ignores cover, +1 to wound, reroll wounds.
And roll hits.
And reroll hits. Does actually end up putting a shocking amount of damage onto some people.
Yeah.
Shooting Terminators is like basically a meme, but on a 10-man shooting Terminator unit is actually going to put a significant kick out with that. And they're perfectly combat capable.
Perfectly combat capable. They get like a bunch of power fists.
Yeah, just 3 power fist attacks per dude.
Yeah.
And there's usually going to be a character in there. So I'm quite a fan of this stratagem, actually. That's actually a nice one. And then the final stratagem is 1 command point, and this is not for veterans. It is only for Terminators. I really don't think this would have been broken on Vanvets, which is just end of your opponent's fight phase, pick up a Terminator unit, and it goes into strategic reserves.
Okay, notably, strats like these always like look good, but in terms of how you like the core gameplay loop, it doesn't usually work out because it's pretty rare.
I don't think this works well for Terminators.
Yeah, exactly, right. Like Terminators want to get in there and keep going, but like my JPI, like zooming around, up and down, that's cool.
Yeah.
Terminators, that's not like
cheap units to score and expensive units with guns.
Yeah.
Like up and down. And so maybe that 10-man shooting Terminator unit that we're clearly taking, you drop it, you go +1 to wound, reroll hits, ignore cover, +1 AP, you blow an infantry unit off the table, and then your opponent says, wow, that was scary, and they run away from you, even though you can't fall back and do anything. And you move 5, and they're like, aha, I have escaped the movement 5 menace.
I was about to say, I feel like there's some problems that need to be solved here.
Yeah. So you can go up and down there. So that's the end of the detachment. I think as a net result, I do like this better than First Company Task Force.
Yeah, baseline, I read this and I'm like, this is a pile of cool rules. It's just the data sheets it affects are not the best. They're not the best.
Yeah. This still unfortunately only benefits like the elite of the elite. And I don't think you want to take any of these units.
No.
Stern Guard veterans
are
actually good, but then they don't benefit from the detachment at all because they already reroll wounds against the other target.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's cool. cool, but not the same.
Not really doing.
And then you can just do that in any detachment.
If you really like Terminators, this is a detachment for you.
I don't even think that's true.
Look, there's cool Terminator rules in here.
There are cool Terminator rules. This is a nice upgrade, and so I'm not mad about it. If you're gonna play Imperial Fists, I think you could actually play this attachment, have it be cool. I think you build your army around 2 Terminator bricks, 1 Lysander, 1 Ancient. I hate to say it, but I think you actually do want the Ancient. There's enough +1 to wound between the Stratagem and Oath.
Yeah.
That I think you can be okay with not taking a Chaplain here. Yeah, I generally like the Chaplain. You're a little bit slow. I would probably want 1 shooting Terminator unit to benefit from 2 of these stratagems that really only benefit that unit.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you're ever going to up down an assault Terminator squad, declare 9.
No.
But you know what? Sometimes your opponent doesn't leave you anything better, so.
Yeah, I think this detachment is like a great for casual play, honestly. Like super great for that. I think it does everything it really wants to from like a narrative perspective. Is this going to like drop onto the tournament scene all hot? No.
No, it's not.
No, you're not going to see this anywhere. However, I actually do think it's cool. Yeah, that's all that matters.
I would agree. I wrote a big beefy list for this new Imperial Fist attachment, the Emperor's Shield. We start off with an Ancient and Terminator armor with Maladraxian Standard. That's going to make his squad harder to wound against big, tough guns. Then I have a Chaplain and Terminator armor with Champion of the Feast. That's going to be an attack bonus for him, and once per game, an attack bonus for the whole unit. My last Terminator character is Darneth Lysander. Of course, since it's an Imperial Fist list, I'm also running Tor Garadon. He's able to join a Gravis squad, and he can be accompanied by an Apothecary Biologist to give his unit lethal hits. Speaking of which, I have a 10-man Heavy Intercessor unit. They're going to be joined by Tor Garadon and that Apothecary Biologist, so all of those good damage 2 guns are going to ignore his cover and have lethal hits. That's even better when they're shooting at an Oath of Moment target. Then I have 2 10-man strong Terminator assault squads with Thunderhammers and a 10-man Terminator squad with Cyclone missile launchers. So 2 combat units, 1 shooting unit. That's 30 Terminators total, and I do have 3 Terminator characters, so I can change who's leading which unit based on the game I'm playing. I'll close out the list with 3 squads of 5 Vanguard veterans with Storm Shields. They are veterans, they can use all the stratagems of this attachment, and they'll give me a couple cheap pieces to play the game with while I try to maneuver these big crushing blobs into position. So, if you like this detachment, make sure you like the video, leave us a comment, and let us know if you think we're missing something. Let us know what you think, and let us know what you're excited about for the rest of these. Of course, if you want to see the Raven Guard detachment, that video is coming out at the same time as this one, so subscribe to the channel, that way you'll get notified every time we release a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We'll catch you all next time. Bye-bye.